A good Voch Rabbi Sai. We're here live in Techeiles. Beautiful. What a matzav. Food outside, ice cream, pizza, and a lot of different show and tells. Right next to me, we have, this is the Beged of the Kohen Gadol in Techeiles. And different things. We're going to see in just a few minutes introduction to how they dye Techeiles. It's actually in the Hebrew shir tonight. The Gemara is going to discuss how they dye Techeiles. So I want to thank, first of all, Techeiles for hosting us. Rabbi Moshe Stefansky is director of the center. Judy Sturman, thank you. There are a few people that told me they're interested. They're on the fringe. They're on the fence. Talmud HaMachmis Rabbi. So, if anybody's interested, till Techeiles, after a lot of twisting of the arm, Baruch Hashem, they came to their senses and they're giving us, if your first item, 50% off. Everything else, 25% off, I think. Second, third item, all the way through February 24th. So, without further ado, what's your name? Ari, come. Tell me what you want to, you said you want to.
We want to thank you all for joining us. This is not the gift. This is a 500-year-old Yemenite Sefer Torah, Parshat Truma.
Hold on.
Put next to you while you're doing your shiur.
All right, here, this is for you.
Okay, so this is a 500-year-old Parshat Truma, a Yemenite Parshat Truma, written according to Shitat HaRambam. And it's matim that it should be here tonight next to you while you give the shir. We heard that you
I'm
have...
taking this home, yeah?
No, that is not...
That's what I understood.
That's why I said that is not the gift.
Thank you.
That is not the
gift. Yeah, okay.
Okay. We have the 300-year-old one that you could have, but not the 500-year-old
Wow,
one.
so the tzaddik is not like the Arizal.
No, and also notice, this is a Parsha Ptucha, a Shitat HaRambam. It's a whole line that's open.
Yeah.
Okay?
Cool, the tzaddik.
But this is for you. We heard that you have a very special Megillah.
Ooh, wow.
That your grandfather wrote?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is handmade with real Techeiles, and it's made to hold your Megillah. Evidently, we got the sizes. I hope they're correct, and I hope
beautiful.
You enjoy it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. All right. So now you guys want to give it the demonstration?
The dying first, or you want to get to the daf?
Do the dying first. There's people that are gonna die for to see it. Yeah. You're gonna come to the shir just for this, so let them see it and they can get over. They won't have to watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Here you go.
We're going to learn in a few minutes. Hatechilta, Hechi Tzavitala. Abaye asks Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda, how do you make Techeiles? Why doesn't Abaye know how to make Techeiles? Where does Abaye live? Bavel. Where's Techeiles made? In the Mediterranean. The snails that we believe are the true, authentic chilazon are found in the Mediterranean Ocean, 1,000 miles from Bavel. So what does Shmuel Bar Yehuda say? First we take the dam chilazon, and then we take samanim, which are chemicals, umartechinan, we boil them all up, and then, okay, so what I did for you, unfortunately, Shmuel Bar Yehuda doesn't give us enough information. Which chemicals, how long, what's the temperature, what's the pH? Nothing in the Gemara about any of that. Nonetheless, this Gemara tells us many, many, many things. First of all, it tells us that the dye comes from a living creature, a chilazon. There are only two dyes in the ancient world that came from living creatures. One of them is Techeiles, and the other is Tolat Shani. Comes from an animal. Tolat Shani, right. But everything else in the ancient world,
Remy, why is the camera shaking?
Any other dye came from a plant. And we'll see
Still
in a
shaking.
few minutes.
Guys, we can't have a shaking camera.
We'll see in just a few seconds that there was a fake Techeiles. We'll talk about that in a moment. I saved you the trouble There are at least 7 or 8 different recipes that we have for making tchelet, natural ways. We do it differently nowadays. It's a little bit more sophisticated. What happens is you take the chilazon, you break it open. There's a little gland inside. You cut that gland out. Afterwards, you dry out the glands, which are yellow but become this kind of a rock-hard purple. And after all of that, we take all of that, put it in a blender, put it on a plata shel Shabbat, and then grind it up into powdered tchelet. Tchelet, by the way, was worth at one point...
Above this. Oh.
At one point, tchelet was worth 20 times its weight in gold. So this is very, very, very expensive. And you can imagine the meal of the Kohen Gadol, 2.5 kilo, you can do the math, what that would cost.
$20 million?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know what gold goes for nowadays. According to the recipes of the Romans, unfortunately we don't have Rav Shmuel Bar Yehuda's recipe. It takes 7 to 10 days. You add a little urine, a little bit of wood ash, and this is what you're going to get. The Gemara says, then what do you do after you get the... After you get this, you want to know if this is real tchelet. You want to know if it works, if your dye is ready. So you take a little bit and you put it into an eggshell. Why an eggshell? Because this was the ancient world's version of a paper cup. You take it because what you're going to do with it is you're going to take a little bit of wool, put it into the eggshell, and do te'ima. See if it works. Now, just these things already tell us many things. Number one, you didn't use any kind of a glue on the wool. That's called a mordant. Gemara doesn't talk about that. You add the wool directly to the vat, the dye vat. The other thing it tells us is that you have to boil it up with samonim, right? Most of the dyes, you don't boil them up with samonim. You don't take any chemicals. You boil up the wool. Like, for example, in talat shani, you boil up the larva. It turns red. You take the wool, put it into this glue mordant, and then you put it in. Already we're getting narrowed down. There's almost nothing that can be blue. There's nothing that can be blue except for Techeiles and Kaleilan. It doesn't need a mordant. It comes from a living animal, and it needs chemicals, and then it needs te'ima. Te'ima means that you can't see whether this is real or not until you actually do the dyeing with it. Rav Eli, I'd like you to do the dipping the wool. From this moment on, all of the preparation that we do doesn't need any kind of kavana, but from now on we need tzviya lishma. You have to say l'shem mitzvah tzitzis.
L'shem mitzvah tzitzis.
Put it in, that's it. I'm going to dip it into the dye. The dye is all ready. And when you take it out of the dye vat, after you take it out of the dye vat, then you're going to see what the color is. Because when the color is this is obviously not Techeiles. So Baruch Hashem, we're able to see that we have real, live, beautiful Techeiles coming in. Now, while this is changing color, I'm just going to put it in a second. Rav Eli, I'd like you to take, hold this for a second, Ari. Okay. I'd like you to take a little more wool. Dip it again with Shem Mitzvah Tzitzis.
Is this hot?
No, it's okay. Here.
L'shem mitzvah tzitzis.
Oh, okay. Now, I did that for a reason so you understand the sugya better. What you have here, Techeiles dome liyam, yam dome lirakia, rakia dome likisei hakavod. This is Techeiles. If I wouldn't have put it in the sun, which I prepared it, what would have come out
Argaman.
is argaman. So just very quickly, a little chemistry, very quickly.
This is all 3 minutes, right?
I'm almost done. The chilazon produces 3 different chemicals, right? There's 2 purples and 1 blue. If you dye straight from the chilazon, you get purple. What the sun does, and this was only discovered 40 years ago, the sun will take some of this purple and turn it into blue. This blue is the same color as Kala Ilan, as indigo. So your eye, when this is very, very high and these are very, very low, your eye can only tell that it looks like indigo, but the other chemicals are present. So if you wanted to look at Kala Ilan and Techeiles, which is which? Can't tell the difference. One of them is Kala Ilan, one of them is Techeiles. Nowadays, under a very special way of analyzing it, we can actually get to see if any of the other molecules are present. I'm taking the second out. Is this kosher Techeiles? Why not?
This is kosher. No, this is not, because we used it already to taste the.
This is a machlokes. According to Tosot, afilu mea pam, as long as you said lishma. According to Tosot and the Rambam, this is perfectly kosher Techeiles. According to Rashi, it's not. It's the machlokes that we'll learn in just a few seconds.
No.
But can you tell the difference?
No.
Oh, and that's why the Radziner Rebbe says Rashi doesn't make sense. And the Radziner Rebbe says Rashi must be talking about when the dye gets much, much more diluted. Here at Psil Techeiles are makbid for Rashi. We don't paskin like the Radziner Rebbe on this particular halacha. And we only use Mara Rishon, even though with your eyes and even with chemical analysis, you couldn't tell the difference. Rashi, as against Tosos and I wish we had somebody who had the shoulders to paskin halacha to allow us to use Marisheni. That would make things a lot cheaper. We could run better sales. Thank you.
Shkoya, beautiful. So, what do we see over here? So, if they want to take a look in that aquarium, you have chilazon,
And
eggs, chilazon, and all types of chilazons. And that right over there, that antique scripture, what is that?
It's a Justinian edict that says anybody wearing it besides Caesar in his court put to death.
That's part of the reason why they say nignaz, is because the goyim didn't allow the Yidden to use Techeiles. It was reserved for royalty, and you can see the document right over there if you understand that language. Okay, here's the chilazonos in the aquarium. Rabbi Isai, we have another shir coming up, so we have to make some progress over here. Rabbi Isai, first of all, tremendous yishkoyach to Avremi Cohen for many hours, coming early. Friday, was here Friday setting up, here Motzi Shabbos. Who? Hoodie, where's Hoodie? Efo Hoodie, Dover Ivrit. For all the AV stuff, he gives us Bechinam, because he's part of the Hebrew Shir, very famous sound guy here in Eretz Yisrael. Baruch Hashem, he's part of our Hebrew Shir. Yishkoyach to Dave Sharfman, who just set everything up for me. Yishkoyach to Kobe. Yishkoyach to the whole staff. Yishkoyach to Benny for setting this whole thing up and really working hard. I was going to forget you, but how could I? Official edition MDY Shas, Gedalia and Shosh Waldman, in honor of my father Chaim Waldman, who introduced me to Reb Eli Yishkoyach. Daily sponsors anonymous in memory of Zari Esther Bat Mordechai, Jeffrey Haskell, in memory of my mother, my teacher, Sarbela Bas Yisrael Dover HaKoyen on her 38th yard site, Moshe Kinsbursky, who gave me 2 custom-made suits, MDY suits, Lili Nishmas Chaim Leiba Moshe Yaakov, the Neshama should have an Aliyah, Michael Wimpheimer, Lili Nishmas Yaakov Ben Kloinimus, Jack Wimpheimer. The Gross children and grandchildren in honor of my father and grandfather, Alan Avrumi Gross, on his birthday. Mazel Tov, Alan. It's like almost every week there's something from Alan Gross. Binyamin Kar, Lezech Nishmas Gittel Basar Rav Doiv Ber, my mother Aleh Shalom Yishkoyach Binyamin. Chaim Liebtag. Anybody know who Chaim Liebtag is? He used to send me these emails. Mendy, what was it in the email? Used to say the shtacher. I forgot what it was already. Oy, this is all the way back in brachas. Chaim Liebtag. Zechariah is Avi Moiri. Rav Avram ben Shmuel HaKohen Zechron LeBracha. Rabbi Avram Liebtag. Abraham Liebtag Zechron LeBracha. Yosef Clearcopper. Thank you Hashem for passing the NCLX and becoming a registered nurse. Mazel Tov. Stephen Lowenthal. Avi Moiri Moshe Israel ben Achava our mayor on its 45th yard site today. Dalet Adar. Azriel, human. The Rabbi said it's a day of just tongue twisters. All these names. Rav Shimshin ben Reb Ephraim, human, Zechron Levracha, and Rav Yaakov Chaim ben Reb Moshe Hilzenrath, Zechron Levracha. You're shaking your head, Kilo, like I know what I'm doing here. Got it right? Yeah? Shkoyach. The Shama should have an aliyah. Thank you. And you're Israel. Very nice. Shkoyach.
Except the sponsor, David Solomon. Dedicated memory of Avi Merib Shmuel, Baruch Merib Chaim Tzvi, Doish Chron Levracha. Mesech the sponsors, Joel Gedalis, Lilish, my father, Jack Gedalis. Anonymous. Haslacha Baruch Yisrael is the Palchik Family Foundation, Zech Nishmas Rav Goyim, Shlomo Palchik, the Metchetzer, Eloi. Anonymous, Refuah Shleima, Moshe ben Izaha. Anonymous, for complete Refuah Shleima, and Arichas Yom to Leiba Bas Esther, Yisrael Malki. Toilet Dar Spichel Malki Zav Chesed. We're so proud of you. Yaakov Mordechai, keep steiging. Send the Gross family. Can be Ariel UK in honor of Rebellion, you changed my meaning of life. Plenty Almighty. Yossi, Mark, and Benny, and all the Oiskim, Tzorchi, MDY, Kush Baruch Shalom Scharim. Official edition MDY Shas, Mesechta by the Iranian Levi families. Perik, Anonymous. Lilish Vas Aviboyer, Reb Chaim, Reb Yosef Zechron Levracha. Lamid Thomas Dushin Pei. The monthly sponsors: Ayi Simon, Refuah Shleima, Avi Murray, Baruch Ben Miriam, Jamie Azulai, Refuah Shleima, Esther Bass, Luna, Moshe Aaron and Miriam Landy, Hoyt Lashem Kitoy, Kilo El Chazdoi. Anonymous for the merit of Refuah Shleima for all Klal Yisrael who need Refuah Shleima. Saw Fishy Fisher in honor of Moshe is putting on tefillin. Anonymous for the merit of Refuah Shleima for Malka Maschaya. Centers.com helping getting down Betzibor or pop up in Yonim anywhere worldwide. Lilish Maschayim Shalom Ben Betzalel. Weekly sponsors: Lev Ove staff therapist. Refuah Shleima to Moshe Ben Bracham and Isle of Lev Ove for selflessly donating his kidney. NDY Art month. Yosef Ben Chai Sar for Parnas Bereba. Refuah Shleima Yonatan Eitam Bebeshav Bracha. Refuah Shleima Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Hayeled Daniel Zev Ben Hayeled Esther.
Rabbi Sai, Adar Global, big sponsor. Kakal, a big sponsor. Techeiles, Yishkoyach. For our sponsors, Yaakov Nachimson. Where is he? Nacho! Otherwise known as Nacho. Yishkoyach. Lidishmas, my dear mother. Sharona Bela, Basi Rachmil, who's second yard size tonight. Shav should have an aliyah. She's very proud of you, Nacho. Especially, you should do that satellite location, Lili Nishmasa. Lidishmas. Rus Bas Yaakov, Aleh Shalom. Trumat Gil Harris, L'schus Kol Mishpachat MDY Yishkoyach Gil, and Uri Marsha. Where's Uri? Efo Yishkoyach. He's the one that all the audio here. Yishkoyach Galamite. What's this? This is right below me. There's a pit in the floor. Where they find that you just put it here. You transplanted that here. From Chof Dor. And is it true that they found millions of these in a pile, or it's not mamish like that?
In Sor and in Sidon.
Sor and Sidon, yeah, in Lebanon, like
Murex Hill.
Murex Hill.
This is from the time of the Persians in Eretz Yisrael.
All right. I do want to say, we're here. It's a chutzpah for me to say this, but I have to be fair to both sides. There are people who say that it's not the real thing. There are people that say, Mendy went to his Rav, and his Rav said, there's actually a price. I couldn't find a real issue with wearing it. You have nothing to lose. He says, no, there is something to lose. He gave him a few reasons. He himself doesn't know what they are, but you could ask his Rav. He'll tell you. What? Send it to me in an email. I got a few emails. There are opposition, obviously. There are, so it's not the most pashut thing in the world. If it was, then everybody would be wearing it right now. It's one of these things. You have to make your own decision or ask your local rabbi. Rabbi Isai. Omar Rebbe Zero, Daf Mem Omid Beis. It's exciting to be here. It is. It's a geschmacka place. It's cool. There's a lot of excitement in the air. A lot of people on Shabbos. People ask me if they could come. I said no. It's sold out. You can't come. Omar Rebbe Zero, Omar Rav Masna, Omar Shmuel. We're holding 5 lines from the bottom. Daf Mem Omid Beis. Is that what we're holding? Techeiles. Mamish, a kiss from Hashem. We're here in Techeiles. Mamish starts off Techeiles. Unbelievable. I'll tell you what is a kiss from Hashem. This you're not going to believe. How long ago did we decide to do this over here? 2 months ago. My wife tells me I have bad news. My niece got married on Thursday. They're doing a Shabbos in a hotel. And unfortunately, we have to be there for Shabbos. And you're going to have to make it to wherever you're going to Techeiles. It turns out that when you come out of the hotel, I'll tell you where it is. It's called D City. And D City has a gate. To come in, you have to go through security. The gate. And Techeiles is by the gate. It can't be any closer. I'm not making this up. And this happened afterwards. There wasn't. They decided to do it. So then Binyamin, where's Binyamin? He's here. He did a phenomenal job. What's your last name? I forgot his last name. Oh, that's right. Binyamin Bogenstein. He was the one that did the whole Shabbos. He's a party planner. He was there with us the whole Shabbos. Yishkoach Binyamin. My brother was very, very happy with him. So everyone wants to do an affair anywhere. But even in D City, it was the first one that he did over there with beautiful rooms, actually. Very, very nice matzav. So, Binyamin, Yishkoach. So Binyamin goes and tells my brother-in-law that I should pay for the whole thing. Why? Because Hashem wanted me to be right next to Techeiles, and he set it up, so I have to pay for it. All right. So here we go. So a lot of the sugya, Rabbi Isai, I said this again, I'm going to say it again and again. When it says Techeiles, sometimes it's not like that, but when it says Techeiles, in the Hebrew shir today, when he's like he described, how do you dye Techeiles? It's referring to over here. Techeiles means tzitzis. Techeiles ein bo mishum klayim vafilu b'talis p'tura. Klayim means shatnez. There is no problem of shatnez when you're dealing with tzitzis, even in a garment that doesn't need tzitzis at all. What garment doesn't need tzitzis? My talis p'tura. What does it mean? You're going to tell me it's one of these garments that's very, very small. You have a talis that a little child, a 3-year-old, that's the shear of tzitzis we know. It has to be a beged that covers your head and most of your body. If an adult walks out with that garment, chayav and tzitzis. The famous Ma'aseh, just to explain the Gemara. Famous story where a yeshiva bacher went to his friend and said, listen, if you walk into the Beis Medrash to the Aron Kodesh and back in your undershirt, I'll give you $500. The guy goes, in my undershirt? I'm a yeshivish guy. White shirt, tzitzis on the undershirt. $500, back forth. He takes off his shirt, it's tzitzis, he walks to the Aron Kodesh, the whole place is staring at him, he walks back. He says, okay, pay up. He said, Shaita, I said, in your undershirt. No socks, no shoes, nothing, in your undershirt. Why am I saying it? Because the Vilna Gaon points out from here that if a gadol, they went to the entire, the whole thing. Gnevus das. It says over here, the gadol goes out in the tzitzis. It means he's going out with the tzitzis. That's it. He's not wearing anything but tzitzis. So he says, you prove from here that the tzitzis that we wear today up to our belt is not tzitzis. How would a gadol walk outside with a cotton tzitzis? It must be. So if you ever notice, Reb Chaim Kanievsky, my father, they wear tzitzis all the way to their knees because that's the real shear. In other words, the longer and wider the tzitzis, the better the mitzvah. I don't know why exactly we wear the short ones because it's not really Rosh. Maybe it is Rosh Hashanah. I don't know how it works exactly. It has to be. Don't go with the smaller ones. Go with the larger ones if possible. The beged. The beged has to be, we're talking about a beged here. What kind of beged, what kind of garment does not require tzitzis? And that if you put tzitzis that are shatnez, you're okay, even though it's potter. Perhaps we're talking about a very small beged, that of a child. Says the Gemara. If the young child it doesn't even fit him, all right. Even though an adult once in a while would use it just to go outside for a second, p'tura, you don't need to put tzitzis. And perhaps that's the pshat. When it comes to shatnez, there's no problem with shatnez. What does it mean? But if you're going to tell me that means there's no isser shatnez at all, but not now. We learned it would still be usher. There's no such thing as temporary climb. Shatnez is shatnez. We're talking about just continuation. We're talking about a garment that a young child wears. So if he wears it, it's chayiv and tzitzis. If it's chayiv b'tzitzis, it's very simple, right? If you're chayiv and tzitzis, no shatnez. Potter and tzitzis, yes shatnez. You get it? Because tzitzis pushes off shatnez. So if you have to wear tzitzis, then there's no shatnez. If you don't wear tzitzis, you don't have to put tzitzis on there, then there is a problem with shatnez. So we have to understand, what does it mean that there's no shatnez when it comes to a beged, a garment that is potter from tzitzis. What kind of garment is this? Says the Gemara, we had this case yesterday. Hita lemutelas. Maybe not. I need that bag. Unless, do you have any strings? Any tzitzis strings? Any dumb garment? I have a blue bag. Terrible. Okay, fine. Try to use this. Oh, yeah, we're going to use this. Perfect. We have a hole over here. We're going to make it work. I have it. I just put it in Benny's car by mistake. Okay. Fine. No, azov. It's good. Good idea. Says the Gemara as follows. What happened? Hittel mutelas. That's what I was talking about. If you already have strings, this is like hittel mutelas, big time. You already have strings on the corner, and you add another set of strings to the same corner. Now, when you put the second set of strings, you don't need strings. There's no point to the second strings. So that's the pshat. Even though you don't need strings, why? Because you already have strings. There's no isser klein. There's no isser shatnez. That's the pshat you potter from shatnez. Why? So we have to understand it. Because each one could be used for tzitzis. You could tear off the first one and use the second one. You could tear off the second one, use the first one. Bekitzer, they're considered one tzitzis for this purpose, and one tzitzis doesn't have shatnez. As the Gemara, we had it yesterday. We already had the halacha. That what? That if you add another pair of tzitzis to the same corner, and you rip the first one off, the second one is kosher. Why is the second one kosher? We already explained yesterday. Because when you rip off the first one, you made the second one. It's not tasbel imanasi, you're creating the second one. Okay? So we already said halacha, why I have to say it twice? So the Gemara, there's two separate halachas here. We learn one from the other. Halacha number one is that if you do so, you add a second pair of tzitzis to the corner, it's still good. Second of all, you're not over on shatnez. There's no issue shatnez. That I learned after I learned the first halacha. Tana Rabbanan. Talis kefula chayeves betzitzis. I found this as a prop. Maybe Mendy remembers it from those days. It was in my prop folder, so I don't have to make a prop. What happens? A guy has, this is kol hanarim talis. Does he still have one of those? Massive. They sell these talesim that are massive. Human being can't wear it. But he wants to wear it. He's a cheapskate. He bought one talis, one for kol hanarim, one for the whole year. So he folds it over. He folds it over like so. So now it's like this. Now he folds it over. Now he has four corners. So he puts the tzitzis in the four corners. The problem is that when it unfolds, look where the tzitzis are. They're in the center. Yeah? In the wrong spot. They're over here. Now you have six corners. 1, 2, and these center ones used to be corners. 3, 4, and over here 5, 6. So what do? You have to put the tzitzis, when you fold it, where you fold it, so this is the folded area, you put it on that corner, on those two corners. Reb Shimon Poiter, Reb Shimon doesn't say it's potter completely, he just says, do not put it on these funny corners, because as the Gemara is going to say in a second, it's problematic. What happens when you open it up? Put it on the main corners, like the talis of kol hanarim. They sell it in Techeiles. They sell this, not here. Mishkan Techeiles, they sell. It comes with a giant suitcase. Use it once a year. It's 4 talesim. And unfortunately, me and Ariel are the ones that are always stuck holding it in our shul. If you're over 6 feet tall, you have to develop special muscles. It hurts. You put it on your head. It's a whole thing, yeah. Shouldn't know about the tsars of being tall. Huh? Pole. Chuppah poles. That's a good idea. Mayan. They didn't come up with that invention in our shul yet. Oh, on the Sefer Torah, on the Bima. Torah Rabbana. Talis k'ful chayeves b'tzitzis. Reb Shimon Poiter. Reb Shimon says you don't put it on the middle corners, you put it on the edge. V'shavin. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees that if you made a nice stitch right over here after you folded it, it's not going to open up. So now you created brand new corners. These are perfect. Even Shimon says you have to put it on the folded area. Says Gemara, you know what? Ariel sent me a gewaltige meise from Eli Reisel. Let's say it over. Reb Aryeh Simon sent me a gewaldige meise from Eli Reisel. Tell you the meise real quickly, because it has to do with this. I said this the other week, and they made a short out of it, so this is a continuation. It's gewaldig. You're going to love the story. You shouldn't know about these things. The whole shop is like, please don't ask me to speak. Please don't ask. Of course, you want to speak. No, I can't. No, you want to be on. I don't want to speak. So Baruch Hashem, otherwise I'd have to say the story over there, and then there's 3 people from our shir were guests at this place. The 4th one upstairs. Okay, anyway, story goes like this. The kasha I asked already, from the Sfasemis, they say from different people, the menorah. Baruch says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you make a kaftar, perach, you make a gvim, konim. Reva say he showed him how to do it. Moshe had a problem doing it, and he showed him how to do it. So then why does it say teyasa? Rashi says in teyasa, on the spot. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do it. He took the whole kikar, threw it into the fire, poof, out comes the menorah. So why did he show him? He showed him and then he did it. Doesn't make any sense. So the word is, here's the story. True story. Guy in Miami, a Koil guy, is like Chavrusa or something, found out that he has to go pay a Shiva call, and it's all the way at the end of the Shiva call. It's all the way at the Shiva. It happens all the time. I usually find out the day after the Shiva is over. He has 1 hour. Now the problem is he has to be back at 9 o'clock to give a shir. And he has 1 hour to get to the guy's house. It's 20 minutes away. He doesn't have a car. He's a Koil guy. So he asked the Rav, should he be matriach and do it? He might be late. The Rav said, you have to do it. So he goes outside into the street, and he needs to get there's no Uber in those days. No. He needs a yellow cab. Sure enough, poof, yellow cab shows up. Wow, nice. Jumps in, 20 minutes later he's at the guy's house, pays him the Shiva call, and then it's over. The guy hugs him, thanks him for coming, the whole thing. It made a big impression. Now he needs a yellow cab on a side street. Now, if you know, in America, there's no yellow cabs on a side street. On a major thoroughfare, fine, but a yellow cab on a side street, no cell phones, no Uber, what are you going to do? 20 seconds later, a yellow cab shows up. Out pops a guy. The guy leaves the cab, and he asks the guy, he says, yeah. He goes in. He says, I got to tell you, this is Mamish. He tells him, this is Akash Baruch who sent you over here. How do you just stopped right over here? So the taxi driver says, you don't even know. Let me tell you what happened. I picked this guy up in the airport. And the guy says, let's go. So I say, where? He says, I don't know. Wherever $20 takes me. And this is where the $20 got him. Right over here in front of this house. He says, but it's more than that. He says, the guy gave me a 50. And he says, keep the change. In other words, he had money to go for 50. He only said, I want to go for 20. Because Voch put in this guy's head, this. That's the pshat. That you have to do your shtalos. You go to the Shiva house. How are you going to come back? I don't know. You leave it into Hashem's hands. You do it. Moshe Rabbeinu took this piece of gold. He tried it. And then Hashem took it from him and threw it into the fire and it became, but you have to try. You have to start. You have to do something. Gewalt gemaisa, no? Reveli, shkoyach. Zog the Gemara. This has everything to do with Techeiles. I'll explain later. It says the Gemara, Tfara, Pshita, if you sewed it, then it's one piece. What's the Chiddush? Let's read the Nakta Besiki. We have today, these, the safety pins. How do they call it in Hebrew? Sikat bitachon, safety pin. They could have just said safety pin. But they go, sikat bitachon, fine. So that's not really sewing. That's like a temporary thing. Nevertheless, you put the tzitzis on the new created corners, not on the original corners. Says the Gemara, story time. Rav went to Rav Nachman. Literally, in this case, he was using the Kol HaNa'arim talis. He saw it was massive. It was folded up. And he put the tzitzis exactly like over here on these new corners. If shita v'asa chuta v'kam la dereisha. All of a sudden the stitches came out, popped open, and now his head is, let's say, in this hole right over here, and all of a sudden he has tzitzis right by his shoulder instead of up here because it just came undone. What you have right here is no good. Because of Rahman B'Raisa, this is not the kanaf that the Torah is referring to. The Torah says kanaf. It has to be on the edges, not in the middle. You look like it's weird what you're doing. You have tzitzis smack in the middle of your talis. Also shadye, so he took it off. He took another pair of tzitzis. And this is going to throw us into a nice sugya of something that we're kind of familiar with. When you have a pair of tzitzis laying in your drawer you bought it from the store, it's in your drawer, do you have to put tzitzis on it or not? What do we know? For whatever reason, it's not so pashut why, but we go by chaves gavra. It's when the human being wears a beged with four corners, then he's chayiv and tzitzis. There's another shita, that when you put it into a drawer, when you buy tzitzis, you have to put tzitzis. I don't understand. You just threw it like that into a drawer. You think it's only when you wear tzitzis you have to put on tzitzis? Chavis talasu. You have a garment that has four corners. Make sure it has tzitzis. Zil Ramila. Go ahead and put tzitzis right now. Says Gemara, let me say, I have a right. This case right over here. As they're weaving, they couldn't wait. They were so excited that they had 3 finger breadths of garment, even though it's not Rosh Rubai, they put the tzitzis in right away. What do you see from here? That the chiyuv is not on the person. The person's not wearing tzitzis. It's in the machine still. Oh, but it's my possession. I own this garment. I'm chayiv in tzitzis. Shani chasidim machmer shayu don't bring any raya from a chassid of those days because they are super machmer. Upligid malacha. This is great. He argues with an angel, a malach. What happened? The malach ashkechel Rav Katino the mekases dino. The malach found, what time is it? I have no idea what time it is. 5 to 10. When is the Hebrew shir starting? Okay, we're going to have to be mizdaris here. Upliga the malacha. What happened? The malach gave musar. The malach ashkechel Rav Katino the mekases dino. Rav Katino had a talis. Amarle Katino. It's like, like when you yell at your son, double lashon. Katina. Look at you. It's dino bekaito. When it comes to the summer, all of a sudden you're wearing cotton. And, let's go back. Let me go back. Ashkechel Rav Katino the mekases dino. Rav Katino was wearing cotton. And yesterday we said you're not allowed to put techeiles in the cotton. Whole, right? Because of beged laila, you might go to sleep in it. Even though the halach is like Visilo, we still say Gzera, you might fall asleep in it. No Techeiles. Techeiles is shatnez. Why is Techeiles shatnez? Because Techeiles is made out of only one thing, wool, tzemer. And cotton is cotton. So now you have wool Techeiles, cotton beged. It's good if it's during the day, not if you're going to wear it at night. Okay, so you didn't wear Techeiles. What's his little trick? In the summer, when you want to wear something that's nice and light, you wear cotton and you say, I don't have to wear Techeiles. And I wear one of these frocks that has a round corner. I don't have 4 corners. Potter. The guys here in Techeiles, they're loving this Gemara. Everybody has their excuse why they're not buying Techeiles. Soon, we're going to get there. Hold on. Techeiles, mamish, the line of Techeiles. What's going to be with the blue-colored strings? How come you're not wearing those? So now he got worried. He's talking to heavenly malach. I don't understand. You're upset at me because I'm not being mekayim the mitzvah of tzitzis? I'm not mechuyev to. It's if I wear it, then I have to wear it. Right? I'm not wearing something I'm mechuyev, so I'm going to get an einish. Omalei, listen to this. Bizman di'iko rischo and shinon. You're right. You're not over any avera. You don't have a talus. You're not mechuyev in the tzitzis. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes when he's upset. Behind the glass over there, what's going on? HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes when he's upset. Then people that don't really deserve an einish, they get an einish. Why? I didn't say this in the Hebrew. Listen to this. Because perhaps HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do mitzvahs. He doesn't want you to do mitzvahs. He wants you to get closer to Him through mitzvahs. And you're wiggling your way out. You're finding every heter not to become close to Him. You have a son, and he's trying to get away from you the whole time. I'm going to beat him up no, but he doesn't want to have a relationship with you. That's the problem. I gave you a mitzvah of Techeiles, and in the summer you have this excuse, in the winter you have this thing. Very good, so you're not over any Yisurim. But Lamaisa, I want to have a relationship with you. I mean, the Rabbi Yonah says it a little differently. He says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is upset that you don't want his mitzvahs. Well, how come you don't want my mitzvahs? And for that he does, sorry. I should have really said it a little later. If you hold that it's a mitzvah on the person, so he's upset at him, how come you didn't wear something that you should have, that you chayiv to wear? But if the problem is with the garment, at the end of the day, the garment is in the drawer, he's not chayiv. And what are you going to say? That, okay, Elamai, it's the reason why the Malach told him that Hashem is upset because the chiv is on you. But it's only when you're wearing something that you're chayiv to wear. Tzitzis on it, Techeiles on it. But if there's no chiyuv, then why would the Torah be upset? You're doing all the shtick. I don't know if there's a better word even. You're doing shtick to get out of a mitzvah. There's a lot of ways to get out of mitzvahs. You can do this, you can do that. Don't find excuses why not to do a mitzvah. Don't go on a tzollah call when it's time to do the daf. You know what I mean? That's a shtick. Tatzdika, that's tatzdika. That's coming up. Oh, I have a great reason why I'm not doing it. And that, you'll insert that pshat over here. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no. Again, I'll say it again. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do mitzvahs. He wants you to have a relationship with Him through the mitzvahs. Just trying to see who. Hi. Ariel is gonna. I got it. Okay. Shmak. Zog the Gemara. Omer Av Tobi Bar Kisna Omer Shmuel. Klei Kufsa, where you have tzitzis inside a drawer, chayavim betzitzis. He holds the chiv is on the talus, not on the person. So if it's in your drawer, you're chayavim tzitzis. We don't pass it like that. We pass it in gavra. You have an old man who's getting ready to pass on to the next world, so he's making tzitzis for his tachrichim. I heard tachrichim is like $130 today. Simple white thing. No, it's like pajamas, the whole thing. I don't know what it is. Okay, I don't want to get into it. But he's making tachrichim. I was just thinking that it's probably in those days it was a hard thing to do. It took a long time. He was getting ready. It's pater from tzitzis. My time, why is pater from tzitzis? You put tzitzis in something that you cover yourself with. And this is not for you to cover. This is for that person. It says Gemara by Ishato, and this is interesting to us. I think we're all going to be surprised by this line right here. At the Lavaya, Vadi Raminale, you should put tzitzis on. Mishum loig l'rosh, cherif, oiseyu. There's the concept of you don't want to mock a poor person. You want to eat a chocolate bar in front of somebody that can't afford it, or to eat steak is on Yom Kippur in Shul. It's like l'rosh. Or like there's a levaya of a famous Rosh Hashiva who was a big smoker. Mamash heavy smokers. They said they asked the Oilam at the Levaya not to smoke because it's loig l'rosh to the maze. Kitzer, you don't. You're wearing tzitzis, he's not going to wear tzitzis. So today in the basic forest, we go in, we tuck our tzitzis in because of loig l'rosh. We do the opposite. We don't want to show the dead people that we have mitzvahs and they don't have. But over here, but our minhag today is by Levaya, they put the tzitzis, but they cut it. They make it puzzle. There's all sorts of stories with this gadol, that gadol. He says, I think. He said in his tzavah, I want tzitzis. But they said, no. The Rav said, if he says, he knows what he's talking about, tzitzis. And on the way, as they were putting him in, it ripped or something. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Omer Rachva, Omer Rav Yehuda, Tal shenikra chutz l'shalosh yitfar. If the talis ripped above 3 of the, here, let's pretend this is our beged. This is the beged right over here. So 3 is over here. It ripped somewhere over here, down here. So you let us sew it up. But if you sew it up here within 3 fingers, 3 fingers of the edge, because you might sew it and leave a little thread, and that thread we discussed is a problem with Tasif Limanasa. You might use that thread for tzitzis. Everybody agrees. Imagine if they had these made in China, little squares, the size of the squares of our talaisim. It's just like iron-on. You put it, pop, on any beged you want, you put an iron, that's not good. Why is it not good? This is already made into a little patch like that. That's what the Gemara says over here. Everybody agrees, even if you bring a giant patch, it's 2 feet by 2 feet, no good. Ubot Techeiles. What does Techeiles mean over here, Rabbi Isai? Tzitzis, v'toilaba, no good. V'shavin shemayvi Techeiles b'makom acher, v'toilaba. If you undid your tzitzis from another beged, I've done this before, Rabbi Isai. If you wear real Techeiles from Ptil Techeiles and your garment goes 5, you don't fold the whole thing and put it in the gniza because you're talking about 200 plus shekel worth of things. So if you're like me, you sit there. Oh, which reminds me, okay, that's another, I'll say it later for the next year. Save that joke for the next year. Next, because we have to go. So you're allowed to remove tzitzis from one tzitzis to the other. The problem is, why is it a problem? Make sure that they're not, the strings didn't rip. So Taisus asks, my pirush, my shemina, of course, if the strings ripped, then of course it's no good. Well, I have to tell you that if the string's ripped, you shouldn't use it. Says the Shita Mekubetz is over here. If you have it on the side, I have it over here. So Baruch Hashem, I saw that he says at Teretz. So we learned that if you have strings that are long and they rip, so if you have 2 fingers worth, some people say if you could go around your finger, not 2 fingers, go around your fingers, or you can make a slip knot, then it's okay. Says the Gemara, that's only when you start out with a long string and it snapped. But you're not allowed to start off like that. And says the Gemara over here, you're starting off like that. Just because it was good on your other beged, that was good because it snapped off. But when you undo it, now you're starting all over again, and now you cannot use a short string. That's the chiddush. There's a chiddush because Rav, the Galadar, says you're not allowed to take from one beged to another. Why? What's the problem? It's a zilzul. You're putting down the mitzvah of tzitzis, taking from here to there. Says the Gemara, it's not a zilzul. I'll tell you why. Dilma di bloy. We're talking about a beged that is worn out. And a worn out beged is not a busha to take from here and put it over there. For carrot, you're saving it. Now you're giving it new life. Turning of the daf. Adar Global, happy clients all year, not just this month. L'shadich.com. Please read a shidduch today. Taner Rabbana. Talish et kula Techeiles. Oh, right over here, a boy side. Mamshek kiss from Hashem. I'm sitting next to the Talish et kula Techeiles. Can you imagine? Whoa. I like this. Maybe I should wear it. Am I allowed to wear it? I don't know if I should. I'll leave it for a different cheer. Okay. Put it on? But I have this microphone. I don't know if it's possible. It's. Are they gonna? Do you have the right to tell me to wear? I'm allowed to wear it. Talis should cool Techeiles. Mash doesn't get any better like this. Unbelievable. Well, I don't even know what we're holding. Kol minei tzivoin and poitrim, but Rabbi Sai. The halacha is that every tzitzis needs. Should I sit down? Every tzitzis needs 2 colors. Every garment, you need 2 colors. So you need typically blue and white. Chutz, everything will work on this one. Chutz mikali ilan. If you put blue strings, it's no good. Now you don't have the 2 colors. Meisvei, talis, I just continue wearing it throughout the whole share. Let's get a schmack. It's a little cold in here. I might be the only person that ever wore this. Here, I'll give it to you. You put it. I let you walk behind me. It's okay. Don't you dare! No, I'm just kidding. Shkoyach. Meisvei. Talis ain't part of the boilamino. A talis, let's say you have a red garment, you need red tzitzis on it. If you're in the army and you have a green shirt and you need green strings, that's what it says over here. Talis shekula Techeiles, but if it's blue, maybe Techeiles v'davar acher v'toile ba. You have to take another color. You have to take blue with another color. V'kali ilan lo yavi, and certainly you shouldn't use kali ilan. Where's this kali ilan thing? Okay, kali ilan. Vimhevi kosher. It's okay. You can go back. You can go back that other way. Vimhevi kosher. So it says over here that it's okay if you use all 4 strings blue. You can use kali ilan. You shouldn't, but if you did, it's okay. And before he said it's possible. Contradiction. There's a difference between 4 strings and 8 strings. In other words, what's this? I don't know. Oh, Rabbi say 4 strings. You see, 4 strings. 2 are blue and 2 are blue. Now, Yoshi exaggerated. Here, do me a favor. Give me that thing. I want to show the kali ilan thing, that chart. So, okay. In reality, Yoshi just did it so you can understand what the Gemara is saying. So one is lighter than the other, you see? But in reality, they look pretty much the same. And the Gemara says human eye cannot differentiate. The art test that you could do, that we're going to see on tomorrow's daf on the bottom, if we get there. But in Yoshi's thing, it's a little lighter, bedafka, just to show you that one is kali ilan and one is real Techeiles. And that's possible, because now all 4 strings are the same exact color. Thank you. But if you have 4 strings, two are Techeiles and 2 are white, just like this, plus he added 4 kali ilans, so the Brisa says don't do it. But if you did it, it's kosher. Now, it's kosher. Why is it kosher? Because you did it the right way. You have 2 colors. All you need is 2 colors. You have blue and blue. Blue and white is great. So why is it a problem? The problem is not because of Al Tosef. That we said, Rabbi said, let me chazer again. If you're putting all the strings together in one, it's not about Tosef. For instance, there used to be a minhag of having a bunch of aravis or teimanim till this very day. They put 50 adasim. There's no problem about Tosef. About Tosef is to take a whole nother lulav and esrig. That's about Tosef. But if you're just adding to it, adding more strings in that one thing, it's not about Tosef. If you add another gdil, another whole thing, that's about Tosef. So what is the problem? The problem is you might open it up, and you might use the kala ilan, the fake stuff, the indigo, you might use it on another tzitzis. And that's a problem of shatnas and everything else. Oh, wait a minute. You're concerned that somebody's going to undo it and use the 4 blues. The guy comes, he's a big chacham. He says, wow, there's 8 strings here. I got a freebie. I got 4 free Techeiles strings. Why should I pay Techeiles? 50%? of 240, 1990. Panovich math. Let me just undo this and have 4 free strings. But guess what? He won't know he got it as a gift. He won't know it's Kol Elon. Now he's going to use Kol Elon somewhere. You see that you're allowed to undo it? No. Dilma di Yovad. It's not pshat that he did it. Pshat is he was over and he did it. Itmar. So we have machlokes. Are you permitted to go from one beged to another? Are you allowed to undo your tzitzis? As I mentioned before, Rav says it's aser. Shmuel says it's mutter. There's another halach that Rav says you're not allowed to light one Chanukah light to the other. Ushmuel Amar madlikim ner l'ner, you're permitted. Rav Amar ein halach Reb Shimon begrira. Oh, this is an original picture I sent Yoshi on Friday, and this is the upgraded version. Can you imagine? This is 2.5 years ago. We didn't do it. I found some guy gave me permission, and this is the same exact idea. Now, what's the problem? The problem is you're not allowed to make a groove in the ground. It could be chayrish. It could be other stuff. Let's call it chayrish. And literally, you can see the bench. Now, obviously, if you know for 100% certain, you're certain that it's going to happen, even Reb Shimon says you're not allowed to do it. But if you don't know for sure that's going to happen, yeah, it's whatever. It's pretty solid ground, but that's called davar she'eino miskaven. The famous Reb Shimon, davar she'eino miskaven. He didn't have intent to make a hole in the ground, especially in this case. Look what his intent was. This kid had an intent not to plow the field. Shlomo, this is Shlomo. He had a good reason. So the halacha is, they like that more than all my jokes and everything. There was a good one when I was in Rehovot. So the Olam was, I don't know, I'm not going to call them stiff, but they were very excited that I came. They were shocked. Like they didn't. Okay, so I threw out a joke and garnished. Threw another joke. So then I had a joke on Friday. I don't remember what it was, and I said, even in Rehovot. No, so I think it was in Rehovot when I said, when did you say it? Your thing. It was in Rehovot. I said, what's going on there? Like the island is very, they're not laughing at my jokes. So Benny said it's because they're on a Zoom delay, because they're on the regular. So that was like the best joke of the night. That they got, they laughed. Oh, they liked it a lot. Yeah, because they are on Zoom and there's always like a 10-second delay. So it takes them 10 seconds to have every joke. Okay, anyway. Famous when we get to Masechta Shabbos, it's happening sooner than you imagine. Masechta Shabbos is like in 2 years from now, not even. So, yeah, think about it. The Sima Shabbos is in 16 months from now, and a month and a half after that is 2 months after that. 2 months after that is already, okay. The Israelis are starting to pile in. Great. Lech tochal k'tzat glida, pizza, akol shama. Beseder? Rav Yitzchok. Omar Abaye called me Ledemar Ovid Kirav. My master, who's his master? Rabbi Nechemia. Rabba, the famous Rabba. Called me Ledemar Ovid Kirav. Rabba did everything like Rav. Lebar Manit Las, David Shmuel, besides these 3 things that he did like Shmuel. Now what? He holds like Shmuel that you're allowed to take tzitzis from one garment to the other. And Chanukah, you're allowed to go from one candle to the other, to another menorah. That if you're permitted to schlep drag a bench across the ground, even though it might create a ditch or whatever it is, it's not on purpose. Davar she'eino miskaven is mutter. The Sanya, on condition that you don't have in mind to make that groove. Yishkoyach for everybody for coming all the way out here. A good Voch. Thank you so much. Rabbi Isai, if I could ask them.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.